Hello, welcome to a special edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of CropLife and CropLife Iron magazines. Here today with a special guest, Kevin KJ Johnson, the president of the Illinois Fertilizer and Chemical Association. Kevin, or KJ, welcome to the show.
Hey, appreciate it, Eric. Look forward to talking with you this week.
Very good. So for my viewers who may not be that familiar with you or IFCA, you could give us a little background on yourself and the association, and then maybe share with us a topic or two that you're currently working on with the legislature there in the state of Illinois that is relevant to our friends in agriculture.
Yep. So we're an agribusiness association, specifically on the fertilizer and chemical side of stuff. We are based here in Bloomington, Illinois. IFCA got started in 1965 talking about ammonia regulations and some of the regulations that were coming down in Springfield on anhydrous ammonia. And that's how the association started. Back in 1970, they looped in some of the chemical stuff into the association. And we've been a strong organization ever since then. We focus a lot on regulatory issues that face ag retailers and the fertilizer and chemical industry. We do a lot of trainings. One of our trainings today that we got going on with some high school or college students is on anhydrous ammonia and stuff like that. So we do a lot of training for our retailers, but just the general public on anhydrous ammonia, anything fertilizer and chemical. Another thing that is a big part is the legislative, the lobbying of legislators on issues here in the state of Illinois. Before Gene Payne retired, I did all the lobbying for IFCA before that since 2013. So we do a lot of lobbying efforts, regulatory issues, stuff like that. But just getting members together, we do a large convention and trade show in Peoria in January. But then what we're going to talk about a little later here in the third week of August, we do the big MAGIE show, which is a large outdoor equipment show that is specifically to the fertilizer and chemical industry. We had the Farm Progress Show just down the road in Decatur, but we specifically just targeted just the fertilizer and chemical industry.
Okay, very good. Yeah, but before we move on to that, I know, of course, you send out I guess weekly, bi-weekly.
Yep.
You send out a newsletter where you share information with members and folks around the country alike. And I know one of the things I found kind of interesting, given we were talking just before we got on air about weather, you had an item about some of the dicamba application regulations, and I think it was 85 degrees was sort of the cutoff point.
Yeah.
And as you and I were talking, that we're going to blow past that mark probably about 7 in the morning in our neck of the woods as we're recording this. But we want to talk a little bit about the dicamba issues there going on.
We might even if it was 95 degree temperature on dicamba, we might blow past that here in central Illinois. They're talking almost triple digits. Yeah. So one of the biggest issues that we're dealing with right now is some of the dicamba, and is if you're not from Illinois or haven't heard, the dicamba is a cutoff of June 20th. A forecasted high of 85. So if it's 75 that morning, but it's supposed to get to 89 that day, it is a do not spray. You must use field watch to see if there's any sensitive areas out there or any sensitive crops. You got to leave more of a buffer if it has those sensitive crops or if you're in an endangered species county. The other thing that what I try and really express to retailers, there is a lot of Illinois nature preserves, and that might look like CRP ground to me or the average Joe. But if it is up against any of those type of areas, you must watch, or you got to leave the larger buffer. So we are trying to push that at the retailers. I know retailers are in a tough spot this week because a lot of farmers are saying, hey, I need those being sprayed and I'm using that technology. What do I do? It's going to be a tough call. And I hope guys had these conversations here even last week or before saying, guys, we think the heat's going to happen. We might have to switch a little bit. Do we use more of a liver or glyphosate? What do we change up with just with this amount of heat that we got coming? So we are really looking at that issue, but that goes back to the general that we're doing a lot of issues in Springfield IFCA is just on the pesticide industry. When I started with 13, it really focused on fertilizer and nutrient runoff. And it's not like we're not still focused on those issues, But here in the last couple of years, we're in that island here in the Midwest of all the pesticide type legislation is being introduced. Not everything is moving, but we have it all. We had a dicamba ban. We actually had a hearing about that. And most of that was on lawn care, but it streams from everything in agriculture. But we had a Roundup ad, clear frost ban, or making a product a restricted use product. So a lot of our stuff in the spring session, and I'm going to see what happens with the election, but in what they call the fall veto session now in Springfield, I think it's all going to come back up. None of these bad ideas ever get lost someplace. They just coming to stop. So that's our main focus right now, is talking to legislators about it. We'll work with, good regulation. There are good regulations, but how do we be able to still use these products in the best sound manner out there?
Okay, well, very good. Well, best of luck with that moving forward, obviously. But as you hinted a little before in our video, as we're recording this, we're a couple of days away from the official start of summer.
Yep.
But I know for those of us who do pre-planning and look ahead very, very far in advance, some of us are already making our plans for what's going to happen towards the end of summer. Yeah. And of course, one of the major events I always look forward to every year, of course, is the Midwest Ag Industries Exposition, also known as MAGIE, which is held every year in Bloomington, Illinois. And I believe this year is the 41st edition, correct?
41st. We had the 40th anniversary last year, 41st this year.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit, KJ, about how things are progressing as we move here in the mid-June timeframe towards the end of August, when that event will actually take place.
Yeah, it's going good right now. A lot of our spots that we have are already sold out. A lot of our big people are already there, so we're getting there. Now it's just the details of getting it to the end of to the show. If you haven't been here, we have a large area where we have static booths. All our big equipment companies, but even smaller guys, and we have a smaller tent for some of the smaller vendors, but can show off the latest and greatest of what's going on in the fertilizer and chemical industry. But what makes us different than any other show out there, even the Farm Progress Show or any other show you get to go to, we actually have about 40 acres that we have a ride and drive area. So if you want to get in a new Terrogator, a new John Deere sprayer, a new K sprayer, we have room where you can actually get into that sprayer and get to drive it around and see how it works on your operation. So we're different than any of us. That's what we get the biggest compliments for as a MAGIE show, is actually to get to ride and drive in those areas. And we got quite a bit of room. We're going to expand some of that. We're going to actually have some talks about more of the drones, but also the autonomous vehicles. How does that play out? So you're going to see it all here at the 41st anniversary of the MAGIE show.
Very good. And we'll have something up on the screen, of course, a link to the website for MAGIE, but the actual show dates?
It is August 24th and 25th. So it's always the third week of August, that Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be a good show. Hopefully not as hot as it was the Wednesday last year for the 40th anniversary, but we're hoping for good weather and a good turnout this year.
Okay, very good. Now of course, one of the highlights for me at an annual MAGIE show, of course, is my magazine, CropLife Iron, usually hands out what we call the Showstopper Award, which goes to the one product that is at the MAGIE show that basically literally stops everyone in their tracks, and they actually have to go and take a look, maybe drive it for themselves if it's a piece of equipment that can be driven. And we've been handing out the Showstopper Award now since 2007's MAGIE show, and plan to do so again this year. That one, of course, is voted on by the attendees themselves. We have a pair of ladies that walk around the showgrounds during the first day of the event and collect votes from attendees, and then we tabulate those and hand out the award accordingly. There's also the MAGIE Image Award, which I believe this will be the third or fourth year, which goes to the exhibitor that is showing the best MAGIE spirit of the show with their exhibit display, or how they've actually presented themselves while at the event, and that's chosen by a few of your key folks. But I guess come this year to 2022, there's going to be a new award offered up. And if you could give us some details on what IFCA is planning with that and how folks could get involved.
Yeah. So this year we are going to do an IFCA Custom Applicator Year Award for Illinois custom applicators. We are going to do that when you guys do the Showstopper Award and Image Award at the tailgate party that afternoon on Wednesday. We have a, if you would like to apply, if you're a custom applicator, you can just email me, kj@ifca.com, and I can send you the form. But those forms need to be back by July 7th. And we're going to have a body to pick 4 finalists for the custom applicator award that show the best, we don't thank the guys that are in the cab of those sprayers nearly enough. We've given awards to general manager, stuff like that. But if the guy in the sprayer isn't thanked, or if he doesn't do a great job, then that's the first complaint we get back from a farmer. And those guys do not get thanked because there's a lot of long hours, especially this time of year. They don't always get to see their farm. It's definitely not a 9 to 5 job. It could be 6 to 10 at night. And we want to thank those guys because those are the face of the industry, but not always that they are seen. But if they do everything right, everything else goes smoothly. If they do something wrong, they're the face of it. So we want to thank those guys. And this is this award that we're going to give. We're going to bring up 4 finalists and then announce those, the winner of that at our tailgate party on Wednesday afternoon.
Okay. Now, KJ, the nominations that will come in for this, I mean, would it be appropriate for someone to nominate themselves, or should they be nominated by their employer / ag retailer?
Yeah, we'd like for the companies to apply. It's not going to be a huge, long process. There are going to be a few things that we'll send you through a doodle poll to fill out and to kind of nominate somebody, and then we'll whittle it down. No company names will be used on the whittle, but we have a pen to kind of go through those, and then we're going to pick the 4 finalists, and then we'll bring them up, and then we'll announce the winner that afternoon.
Okay, and the winner will receive, I'm assuming, some type of a trophy, but is there anything else also?
Yes, there will be a cash prize to the winner and then to the finalists, but yes, there will be a trophy and some other little tokens of our appreciation. But we're also going to do, and we appreciate you doing it, a write-up on that winner and kind of explain what do they bring to the industry. I mean, and again, how valuable they are to that company that has them.
Okay, and I'm sure, being myself on hand and some of our other folks, as we tend to have more than just me from CropLife Iron attending MAGIE, I'm sure we'll also probably have a video, and at some point then in the end of August, CropLife Retail Week edition, we will probably have a video of the winner talking about how it felt to win and how they actually ended up winning. So so look for that, viewers, going forward. So,
all
right.
And I tell everybody, registration for MAGIE will start July 1, and there will be a pre-registration discount. We ask everybody to please pre-register to beat the lines. You can register that day. Everything is at the McLean County Fairgrounds. It's very easy to get to. If you live here in Illinois, you go up either go down Route 39 or up I-57 or 74 to Bloomington, and it is literally a mile off of the exit there on the west side of Bloomington.
Yeah, and I know, speaking for myself, if you are interested in attending the show, register for the show, but hunt down some hotels too, because the ones that are near the fairgrounds usually fill up fairly quickly. Not that anything is overly far away in Bloomington. But,
exactly.
But nonetheless, if you want to be close to the fairgrounds, then my advice would be to register early and book those hotel rooms accordingly.
Yep.
All right. Well, KJ, as is tradition, since you've joined us today on video, and it's CropLife Retail Week, it's time for fun with numbers. All right, KJ. Hopefully, been paying attention to everything we've been talking about, because the number will tie back to something that we've discussed. So, all right, your number is 74.
74, the interstate that comes up to Bloomington Normal.
That
take
would
it
be
every day. I
true,
live in
but that's
Champaign,
not one of the
Illinois.
options. Yeah, it is true, but it's not one of the options I'm hitting you with today. So 74, is that A, the number of current MAGIE exhibitors? B, is that the number of awards that have been handed out at MAGIE shows held between 2007 and 2021? C, is 74 the percentage of soybean plantings that have taken place in Illinois since June 10th? Or is it D, the number of bottled waters consumed at the 2021 MAGIE tailgate party when the heat index was, I believe, 105 degrees?
It very well could be D, but I'm going to go with C on the planting progress.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Ah.
JJ. That number is close at 78%, but no, 74 is the current number of MAGIE exhibitors. And the reason I know that, I was sending out emails this morning before we got on video to all the exhibitors on the exhibitor list, and my email count was 74 when I was done.
Nice.
So,
Good
and
deal.
of course, I know between now and when the show takes place, there'll be probably
Yeah.
additions, because I believe on an average MAGIE show, there's about 80 exhibitors, 85 exhibitors, somewhere in that range. So,
Yep. We're in a good spot. So I hopefully, again, right now, it's all about the weather. Hopefully we have good weather that week of August.
yeah, and hopefully we can avoid the heat index, because I remember last year the tailgate party was fun, but by the end of it, I literally was wringing out my socks because they were completely soaked.
Yes.
So. All right. Well, KJ, thanks for joining us this week on CropLife Retail Week. Best of luck moving forward. Of course, we'll be in touch. Maybe have you on again between now and when MAGIE actually takes place.
Yep.
And for you viewers, thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this segment of CropLife Retail Week, and we'll see you again real soon. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comments section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.